Here again with another Breaking Bad Season 4 episode review video. Before I get into that, though, pretty important if you aren't caught up to the point where I am in rewatching or watching Breaking Bad, or you're just not entirely sure, then you definitely need to take the initiative and pay attention to the episode's title, which of course I'll mention as well as put in the description. If that happens to be the case and you find out that you're not caught up, it would be my recommendation that you don't watch this video any further to avoid any potential spoilers. And for all of you that are wondering, I've seen Breaking Bad many times. This is at least my 8th time. It could even be as many as 10 times that I've seen this show. So join me on the journey and talk to me about this show, along with the man, the myth, the legend, the Lucifer fanatic, a Dexter fan, as well as a Breaking Bad fan himself, Crazy Coffee Man, in the comments section. With all that in mind, this will be Breaking Bad Season 4, Episode 11. The title of this episode is called Crawl Space. And this will be my review, reaction, recap after just finishing watching the episode. So we have a medical tent prepared for Gus, as Gus knew he would probably need it with the events at Don Eladio's place. Gus is passed out in the car. They rush him into the tent. Jesse screams, "What about him?" referring to Mike. And Jesse helps Mike into the medical tent himself. He says this man needs help, and the doctor says this man pays my salary, referring to Gus, so he takes priority. Tyrus is watching Walt weigh a batch. Walt asks, "Are they back yet?" And Tyrus doesn't answer him. Tyrus is a really annoying character at times. Walt tells him, if Pinkman doesn't come back, he's done. I quit. I'm done. Tyrus actually reweighs the batch that Walt gave, and that Walt weighed, and actually he put the wrong figure down. Now, I'm not really sure what happened there, if Walt did that on purpose, or Walt's been working so much, doing so much work without Jesse that he's just kind of getting a little delusional and not paying attention as well, but I'm not exactly sure what actually went down there. So maybe the man, the myth, the legend himself, Crazy Coffee Man, can give his input on that specific scenario. And Walt tells Tyrus about Hank wanting to come to the distribution center / place. Can you just run it up the chain of command? Tyrus says nothing again. Walt has taken Hank to check out the place now, so Hank's watching the distribution center, and Walt's trying to rush Hank into leaving, but this is going to be a long process. And then Hank asks about Walt's eye, and Walt doesn't want to talk about it. He's done explaining himself. Mike's finally got some treatment. He notices Mike needs more blood. The doctor tells Jesse it's in the fridge, and they have all bags of blood for Gus, a lot of them. They have a few for Micah. They even have bags of blood for Jesse. So they know everything, what they're allergic to and everything. And then we have Gus is actually up and awake now. He tells Jesse it's time to go. Mike can't go. No travel. He needs a week at least of rest. And then Gus hugs his doctor. I don't remember what the doctor's name is. And he's told water and rest. Gus is holding the necklace that Mike got from Don Eladio. And Jesse and Gus will be walking to Texas, which is about a 6-mile walk. Gus tells Jesse he did good down here. You proved you can run the lab by yourself. And Jesse says, let Mr. White go. Pay him off or fire him. Don't kill him. And Gus says, that won't work. And Jesse says, then you've got a problem. Ted called and left a message on the answering machine at the White residence. Why didn't Ted call Skylar's cell phone? Doesn't make any sense to me. Skylar goes to see Ted. She has told him the BS gambling story to explain how she's able to get the money to give to him. And then Ted writes Skylar a check for $617,000. Not the full amount that Skylar gave him. He wants to keep his BMW. Well, he says he's going to return it, but we all know he wants that BMW, as he doesn't want to pay for his stuff with illegal gambling earnings. Ted says he wants to do the right thing. He just wants more money, is what Skylar thinks. And then Skylar rips up the check that he gave her and tells him to write a check to the IRS. He won't do it. Skylar, when she leaves, calls Saul Goodman and tells him it's important. Well, tells Francesca, although we don't see Francesca, but I'm guessing who else answers the phone at Saul's office. Gus goes to visit Hector Salamanca again. Hello, Hector. He shows Hector Don Eladio's necklace, and he tells Hector they're all dead. Hector is sad, and Gus tells Hector, do you know who killed them? Specifically, like his grandson. And he turns Hector's wheelchair around to show him Jesse Pinkman. He tells him the Salamanca name dies with him. Gus goes to pick... Gus. I put Gus. Why do I do this? Walt goes to pick Hank up as Tyrus is still watching Hank's place. Hank talks about Madrigal Electromotive owning Frank's Chicken Place. Gail Bedecker took a delivery of one of the systems, and Hank's put way too many pieces of the puzzle together. And Hank, while they're driving, wants Walt to turn into the laundromat / meth lab, and Walt drives past it. Like, he threw Walt off here, and then Walt, to do something to, not go there, he turns into another car on purpose, and now we have Hank back home eating yogurt. Skylar and Junior are there, and then Walt comes in, and Hank calls Walt Mr. Magoo. Marie says their Hardy Boys routine is over, no more stakeouts. Hank ordered a vehicle himself, and about a week, he'll be able to drive off on his own again. Saul calls Skylar. He has his A-team on Ted Beneke. It's Kubi and Huel. And Huel tells, they come to Ted's house, and Hugh tells Ted he needs to keep Huel happy. Kubi tells Ted, phone call time is over. It's check writing time. Sit down and write. Ted Beneke writes the check and signs the express envelope. Ted tries to run away after that, and he slips and he slides and hurts his neck, but he's moving his fingers, but he's just laying there like a stick. Walt now has to enter the the laundromat through a laundry cart full of clothes, just in case Hank has his eyes on that now that he can go off on his own. Well, I don't know if a week's passed yet, but that's the plan eventually. And Walt can tell someone he cooked in the lab. Walt can tell somebody he cooked in the lab. I'm not exactly sure why I wrote that, but I don't know. Or Walt can't tell someone? I'm not sure. But anyway, Jesse has Andrea and Brock over playing some sort of Sonic the Hedgehog game. Walt comes over. We need to talk. And Walt tells Jesse that he knows he's been cooking without him. Oh, here's what I meant to put. Walt can tell that somebody cooked in the lab. That's what I don't know why I read that wrong there. But anyway, if he agrees to cook, Gus will kill him. Jesse basically tells Walt to fuck off. Tyrus shows up and gets Walt with a cattle rod, and then a sack is put over Walt's head, and Walt is taken to the desert. Gus Fring shows up and takes the bag off Walt's head. He says, "You are done. Fired. Stay away from Pinkman. Do not go near him ever." Walt says, "Or else you'll do what?" "You can't kill me, 'cause Jesse wouldn't cook for you if you did." Gus says he has failed with the Hank situation, and now Gus is going to handle it. He says he will kill your son, and I will kill your infant daughter. Although he doesn't actually say it out loud, but you can read his lips that he says infant daughter. So Gus Fring does not fuck around, obviously. And Tyrus then cuts Walt's zip ties because he's tied up. Saul Goodman talks with Kubi and Huel, and Huel mentions it was an act of God. So they're talking about the Ted Beneke situation. And Kubi says, checks in the mail at least. Walt storms into Saul's office, and Walt asks Saul about the disappearer. Walt says he needs this person now. Saul gives Walt a card for a vacuum cleaner repair company, and Saul says he doesn't even know the guy, but he'll contact Walt. He doesn't lift a finger until he's paid in full. Walt tells Saul to call the DEA, and then Walt gets home really quick. and goes under the house. Walt says, "It's not enough. Where's the rest?" to Skylar. "Where is the money?" She tells him she gave it to Ted. She says she had to. And then Walt's like, "Ah!" and starts screaming. And then he starts laughing. So he's having like some sort of nervous breakdown where he's freaked out, screaming, then laughing while he's in this crawl space. Marie calls and says the DEA just called and the cartel wants to kill Hank. Skylar eventually picks up as she was leaving a message and, "Tell me exactly what happened," she says to Marie. And then we have a good shot of the camera zoomed in on Walt, and then it zooms back to end the episode. And if you've seen the Breaking Bad series finale, it does the same thing. No spoilers, but just saying the camera does the same thing with that. So pretty good episode. I didn't like it as much as the last one, but it was pretty good. I'll score the episode a 9.2 out of 10. And then for the characters of the episode, I think Walt, Jesse, and Gus. Walt probably, but Jesse was good, and so was Gus. But Gus didn't have a lot to do in this episode, but the things that he did do were extremely important. And then for the females, seems like this is almost the case in every episode, but Skylar is the female character of the episode. So you've heard everything that I have to say. Now it's your turn. If you're a fan of Breaking Bad, Better Call Saul, or even Breaking Bad at El Camino, a Breaking Bad movie, and you want to help me out with the YouTube algorithm, please Hulk smash the like button. It does help out the channel. Share the video with a friend that you know likes Breaking Bad or anything in the Breaking Bad universe. Oh, put this video on any one of your social media platforms. Don't forget to sound off in the comment section about what your thoughts are on this episode of Breaking Bad. What would you rate the episode? Who would be your characters of the episode? Or if you just want to do one character, that's fine. Remember, you'll be interacting with me and the man, the myth, the legend, Crazy Coffee Man. And then last but certainly not least, don't forget to hit that sub button, subscribe to the channel, join the team, show your damn support, and be a part of something special. And JDev will return.